Welcome to Mont-Saint-Michel, one of France's most iconic landmarks and one of the most visited landmarks in France outside of Paris. You cannot see it right now because we are on it, but you have to trust me, we came from there. After a 1 hour drive from Saint-Malo, where we are staying, we are visiting Mont-Saint-Michel or Mont-Saint-Michel. Anyway, this is the most visited attraction in France after Paris, so outside of Paris. And yeah, I thought it was going to be easy, but no, they have basically an entire field of parking lots. This is just one of the many. And the close there's like a special VIP parking, which is closer. But you have to make a reservation for that. Obviously we did not, and then we ended up in this one. However, the prices are probably, well, this is probably the most expensive parking. You remember when I was complaining about the parking prices in Oslo? Yeah, that beats that. We are in parking 5, and apparently there's a shuttle or you can walk, and it's through here. But the parking are nice. So anyway, if you're staying less than 3 hours, so between 0 to 3 hours, it's 16 euros. So you're gonna pay a minimum of 16 euros if you come here. However, you know, they have different prices depending on the season. So there's a low season, medium season, which is now, and a high season starting July 1st. So it could be worse. Anyway, and there is a long walk through the field to reach the place. We need to move fast because we only have 3 hours, otherwise we're going to pay like 18 euros, and then we're going to pay 21, 22.
Go 16, 18. Oh yeah, 22.
Yeah. Here we are, because in France, currently only small dogs are allowed on public transport and they must fit in a bag, so here we are. If you're wondering what is the food to eat here at Mont-Saint-Michel, it's an omelette. You have probably not eaten such an expensive omelette before. This lady over here, Mère Poulard, has invented it in the, what was it? 18th, 17th century? 18th century. It's a very old recipe for an omelette, and now all the fancy restaurants around sell it. It's not gonna be cheap. It's gonna be probably the most expensive omelette in the world, but you're eating the traditional food. So let's check some prices. It's past 9, and there are only a few restaurants open. The prices are really high here, but they don't seem that high. I mean, the medium beer, it's 8 euros. Yeah, no, it's expensive. They have menus. Aren't cheap. It's like 40 something euros a menu. Now we found a famous omelette. The famous omelette is made with fresh, free-range eggs supplied by some farm around, which has been a partner for this very famous restaurant since 1888. And they made this omelette according to Mère Poulard's traditional recipe, cooked over a wood fire, and has some semi-salted butter in it. Starting price from 46 euros. My question is, how many eggs do they use? If they use like 20, then we can share. They have cheaper options for 39 euros. Oh, and there's an omelette served for 2, which costs 75 euros per person. And they all have their very special name. We have to go now. This is the low tide. I think it's really nice to visit Mont-Saint-Michel during the low tide, which happens to be in the evening right now, and you can see how wide this entire bay is, and there are huge portions basically of sand, stretches of sand where you can just walk. That's how low the water is right now. And then with the light and everything, it's absolutely magical. It's a magical view. And I'm not gonna lie, I also like the fact that most of the people, the tourists that come here during the day, the crowds are gone in the evening. So yeah, it does make it more enjoyable. Sure, the shops are closed, but I'm not gonna miss a 40 euros omelette. Also, you can bring your lunch or snack, whatever, with you, and nobody's going to check your backpack. I think we found a well of the castle, or abbey, or mountain. I don't even know how to classify this place, but anyway, some sort of very popular tourist attraction. And yeah, you know how a lot of castles have a well? Well, not a functional well, but well, and now tourists think that if they throw in a coin or something, it will bring them good luck. Well, this place also has this, and a lot of people throw in coins and all sorts of other currencies from other imaginary places. Also hats and shoes, and the pigeons, their poop. So we all throw in whatever we find more valuable. Yep. Because they make a wish is like an exchange. You know, I'm not really sure who invented this concept. Like, if you give money, you get a wish granted, or you can at least wish something. But I think it was the religion. Do you see that group over there? You can? Can you? Yeah. Just wondering, where are they heading? It looks like they have some sort of hiking gear with them, or maybe that's just how they travel. Anyway, they traveled towards the sea, and last time this happened, just gonna stop there. I wonder where is this going to lead? An unnamed, unknown road. Luckily, this is a tiny mountain and we cannot get lost because, you know, as a traveler, I do have this record of getting lost. I've gotten lost before. Also missed trains and a plane once. The group over there, they're threading water. Or maybe they're stepping on it, I'm not really sure. However, that's a special power. Another thing that really concerns me is the sound of these flying animals over our heads. Flying over our heads. I'm pretty sure they're making this threatening noise because they don't want us here. Quite noisy. Monsters. Savages. How doipui. Okay, but come. We have great view over here. We found a panoramic view, the view we came for, because of course if you want to see a famous site, you don't want to see the site, you want to climb on top of it so you can see other nonsense around. In this case, the road. It's a beautiful architectural accomplishment to your right. And then you have this bay, which at low tide is basically a bay of sand, which is great for photography and walking. It's like nature sport, but easy, no hills. Kind of looks cool. The bridge. And you have to come in the afternoon if you want to escape the crowds, like I always want to. So I know this is not exactly an off the beaten path destination that I usually pride myself with, but it was close to our accommodation, so I said why not. Also, this little guy seems to love it. Why is this place so famous? Apparently it's the dramatic island that hosts the medieval abbey rising from tidal waters of the coast of Normandy. Right now we are in Normandy, and Normandy is one of the most visited and, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful parts of France. Mont-Saint-Michel is a rocky tidal island which was originally connected to the mainland only at low tide, but now they created this bridge behind me, so we have that. The Abbey of Mont-Saint-Michel is a Gothic marvel built between the 10th and 16th centuries, and of course this place is a UNESCO World Heritage since 1979. The island is surrounded by some of the most powerful tides in Europe, which can rise as fast as a galloping horse. This created a natural defense system in medieval times. At high tide, the island is cut off. At low tide, it's surrounded by sand. Why is it important? The religious significance of this place has been at a high level since the 8th century, since it was a pilgrimage site. You might be wondering the religion of this place. The monks here study the Catholic religion. It resisted English attacks during the 100 Years' War and became a symbol of French national pride. Oh, and there is a legend that Eddie just told me about this place. Apparently, according to tradition, in 708 AD, Archangel Michael, Saint Michael, appeared in a vision to Aubert, the bishop of nearby Avranches, probably a village. The Archangel told Aubert to build a church on the rocky island. Aubert ignored the vision twice. On the third visit, Saint Michael burned a hole in Aubert's skull with his finger to convince him. A skull believed to be Aubert's is displayed in the Saint Gervais Basilica in Auvrech with a hole in it. The church was built and Mont Saint-Michel became a site of Christian pilgrimage. Over centuries, it evolved into this monumental abbey that we see today. Who doesn't love a place with a story? Fun fact. The tides can vary by as much as 14 meters, that is 46 feet between high and low. It inspired Tolkien's Minas Tirith and the castle in Disney's Tangled. Only a few monks live here today, but it receives millions of visitors each year.
You like it?
Yes, I love it.
There's something that's been on my mind for a very long time. It's how people become perverts. I have one possible theory. There's this mom here. She looks, well, nice looking mom. And she has, she's taking sexy photos, but she, obviously can't take them alone. And the only person who can take them is her little kid. And I'm wondering what's going on to this little kid's mind and how much therapy he's gonna have to pay for in the future. He's like 7. Well, that's that's how you start smelling other people's fingers. Is that this place, as beautiful as it is, was part of Brittany for a very short time, of Bretagne. But it went back to the Normans, to Normandy, and because Bretagne liked it so much, they built their exact replica. It's called Saint-Malo, not to be confused with Saint-Michel. This is my observation, although I am sure that the egg omelette in Saint-Malo is equally as good, not quite as expensive as Mère Poulard's $50 omelette. Most famous omelette in the world, they say. And in one of the most famous places in the world, with some of the most famous eggs in the world, I would argue, because apparently they use eggs that come from around here exclusively. So what they say is true. Location, location, location. We took our dog to Mont-Saint-Michel. He was better behaved than most of the children here, which gives me a few ideas on how we can improve the population crisis. get bichons instead of children and carry them around in bags. You know, they say that this place was under siege by the English during the 100 Years' War. For 100 years, I don't know. But my theory is that the English just never waited long enough, because if you do wait until the evening, as you can see, the route's open. You can just stroll around the castle. I'm not saying the gate's gonna be open. I'm just saying you can do a lot better sieging if you wait until the evening. There are a bunch of legends here. One of the stupidest ones is that this was a place covered with trees. If you've been around Normandy, you highly doubt it, but apparently around 700 there was a tidal wave. So just imagine a tidal wave. And it just struck here, and all of a sudden, a bay. A great big old bay. That's one of the legends. And the other legend, Julia told you earlier, is about a monk who didn't want to build this church. He was just ignoring Saint Michael. So Saint Michael put a hole through his skull. There are a bunch of other legends. Normandy is built on legends. There's one about the devil and about Saint Michael again, and it's in a story by Guy de Maupassant, I think. So you have to look that up. Do I like Normandy better than I like Bretagne? Maybe. But I like the shells. What do you call them? The mussels in Bretagne. I like those better.
Looking at this place, you might be wondering, is this the place where they filmed Harry Potter? The answer is no. If, and that's a big if somebody had the brilliance to write a French Harry Potter, again, big if, they were about this place, around this place. Like, they would turn the abbey into some sort of religious school, and then they would have it happening here. The omelette would be just, part of the story, the magical breakfast you would eat. And then you come here and you're like, you want your magical breakfast? Well, $50. But no, they wouldn't have enough space for any flying sports, because they already have these seagulls. They conquered the skies long time ago. So, and also there's not much running around, because the alleys around the abbey, not that big, not that many. So yeah, and if you keep eating the magical omelette, eventually your cholesterol levels would be really high, dangerously high. Hello, doggy. And we have a situation here. Somebody has been swimming. His owner is calling, but he's not answering. That's what happens when you think you have an obeying dog and actually you don't. In France, everybody has a dog. They're very well received. They're welcomed everywhere. You can take the small dog on a bus if you have a bag. But it's just my personal observation that most of the pets around are not really trained. So, I don't know. I mean, mine, really well trained. He has been attacked twice. Is Mont-Saint-Michel worth it? Yes, of course. Is the parking worth it? Nah. There's no way around it, unless you take like a bus to get here and then you're like stranded or something. You can visit it for free, well, except for the parking. So expect to pay at least 20 euros for the parking. It's free to visit. It's open 24/7 because there are hotels inside and some restaurants. Most of the shops close during the evening, but less crowds and more space for yourself and taking photos. It looks really nice at sunset. Bring a sweater because it gets really windy. I think it's worth it. It's worth it. Plan to come in a group so you can share the parking. You can split the cost of the parking if you come with a group. I'm sorry to say, but I think France has this effect on me. It's all about the money. You know, like people are really... There's no tipping here. Did you know? Like there's no tip here. I mean, you can tip, but it's not expected. Like nobody's like waiting. You know that weird wait of the waiter. They slide the note, and they're like, "Do you want to add something?" And you're like, not really, but like if you ask, like there's an internal thing happening, like something breaks inside you. Here, that's not the case. They're like, it's 60 euros, how do you want to pay? And then you say by card, and like nobody's waiting for anything. But it's 60 euros, but still. You tipped? Okay, it's worth it. Yeah, come here. Bring your snacks. You can bring your snacks, you can bring your beer, have it right there at sunset or whatever. Nobody's gonna check. It's really good. It's really good. Bring your dog. Train it before you come here. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.